Kia ora koutou. Here we are at the second video about Rerepātai, using āhea, Inahea and nōnahea to ask when questions. I want to start off by recapping the Rerepātai that we've been over so far. In the first video about Rerepātai, I introduced you to these three tūpātai or question words: aha, what; wai, who; and hea, which is where. And then in the video about Rere Āhua, we encountered the kupu pēhea, which we would use when we want to ask the question about how. In the video about Rere Pūtake, we went over to ask why. And in the video about Rere Pānga, we learned to use nā wai nō wai to ask whose is, and mā wai mō wai to ask who for or for whom. In this video, we'll be learning about three other tūpātai, āhea, inahea and nōnahea, which we will use when we want to ask questions using when. You might recall when we went over the adverbs of time that the words and phrases that referred to the past tense started with e, and the ones in the future started with a, like inanahi, yesterday, and āpōpō, tomorrow. And there were heaps of others that followed this pattern as well. When we use tūpātai relating to the question when, this rule also applies. So the kupu we use for when did is inahea, and the kupu we want to use when we say when will is āhea. Another couple of kupu we can use is nōnahea, asking when did something happen in the past, and other variations such as nahea, inawhia, nōnahea, and āwhia as well. So let's have a look at the sentence structures now. We'll start by asking the question, when did, using inahea. It can also be used to ask when was or when were as well. Let's ask when did the lecture start. We'll start our rerepātai with our tūpātai, inahea. Next up comes the subject, which is te kouhou, or the lecture, then the tohu wā I, and the tūmahi, timata. And lastly, we'll add in our punga, ai. Inahea te kouhou I timata ai. The answer then starts with the adverb of time, I, and in this case the time the meeting started, which was, let's say, whitu karaka. And then followed by the remainder of the sentence, which is in the same order as the question. I te whitu karaka te kouhou I timata ai. The question is framed in exactly the same way when we use nōnahea. Nōnahea te kouhou I timata ai. But this time we'll answer the question using nō. Nō te whitu karaka te kouhou I timata ai. The lecture started at 7 o'clock. Here we have our past tense rerepātai. When we want to ask a question about when something is going to happen in the future, we'll use āhea. The structure is very much the same with one important difference. When I showed you the inahea question, you'll notice that I used the tense-specific word I. Inahea te kouhou I timata ai. When we use this type of structure in the wā heke, using āhea, we don't need to use a tense-specific word at all. I'm going to ask, when will we go, or when are we going? So the rerepātai starts with āhea, our subject, which in this case is we. Let's use tātou. And then we add the tūmahi, haere, and there's no other kupu necessary. We'll finish off with our punga, ai. Āhea tātou haere ai. When will we go? If we wanted to extend the rerepātai and ask about a specific place, the punga ai stays with the tūmahi. For example, āhea tātou haere ai. And then, ki te wharepikitia. When are we going to the movies? The answer to an āhea question starts with a, and then the rest of the adverb of time, for example, a te rua karaka, and then the rest of the rerepātai. Tātou hari ai ki te wharepikitia. We will go to the movies at 2 o'clock. I'd like to give you a few different examples now of how these structures work and how we might use them to ask and answer when questions. I'll start with the wāhipa, the past tense. It doesn't necessarily have to relate to a time of day. We can use it for all sorts of different adverbs of time. For example, Inahea koe I whānau mai ai. When were you born? And our answer, I te tau kotahi mano I warau o no tekau mā whā ahau I whānau mai ai. I was born in 1964. Here's another example. Inahea ngā manuhiri I tai mai ai. And the answer, Ina pō ngā manuhiri I tai mai ai. Of course, when you're speaking in a more natural conversation, you would probably just say, Ina pō, last night. But I want to show you the structure of the sentences in full, just while you're learning to use them. The last set of examples now using te wāheke. Āhea ia hoki mai ai ki te kāinga. When will he return home? And there's a lot of options for the answer. A te rawiki ia hoki mai ai ki te kāinga. Or a pōpō. A tahi rā. A te rua o Mei. A te haurua mai I te tekau. A kua nei, and so on. The possibilities are too many to mention. One last example, this time using a person's name. Just to show you that, like in so many other sentence models, we put a in front of names. Āhea, a mere, hari ai ki te whare. I'll leave you to answer that question yourselves. So there you have it, using Inahea, nōnahea and āhea to say when did and when will something happen. I hope you found this video helpful. If there are any other kaupapa you'd like me to cover, please leave me a comment or send me an email via this channel. And please don't forget to subscribe. E mihi ana, kia koutou. Hei konā.